Hi, I'm Adam, the curator of the Museum of St. Helena, and I'm here going to be talking about some Boer War artefacts today. So the Boer Prisoners of War were brought to St. Helena from 1900 to 1902, and they were brought, essentially they were captured in battles and they were brought here to keep them out of going back to fight in the war, whilst the British struggled to sort of subjugate South Africa and the Boer states. So they were here for, well, the longest they were here for 2 years. They were here in two camps, one at Broad Bottom, which is in the Blue Hill area, and one at Deadwood, which is in Longwood area. So they was basically in tents in what was essentially just a prison for them, and just had to stay there all day. They weren't allowed around the island or anything. So they had to find ways to keep themselves busy, and they were very resourceful people, very good with their hands at various crafts. They liked shooting and horse riding. So these things they were allowed to do, and they found ways to do them. So they made tools for themselves out of rudimentary bits of metal and bone and things like that. And using those tools, they managed to craft all sorts of wonderful items out of mainly wood and bone, clay as well, stonework that's all been carved very intricately. And I wanted to particularly look at some of the more quirky or unusual items, such as this boot. Now they like to craft boots. As you see, there's quite a lot here. Most of them were just simply little storage boxes or ashtrays, but some of them were different in that what you think might just be this slide's open and you've got this chamber inside, but actually then a snake pops out. We don't really know what this was for. Some kind of joke they like to play maybe on people, bearing in mind that most of these items were traded or sold as souvenirs for the soldiers guarding the Boers or for the locals on St. Helena. Maybe every now and then they just like to stick a snake, and this one actually has a pretty nasty pin in the end that would, at the time, would give you quite a nasty jab on your finger if you pulled it out too quick. So it just shows their sort of odd sense of humour and maybe almost a rebellious streak, trying to get one over their captors during their exile here. But I think all of the items, it really shows incredible craftsmanship and skill, especially considering the conditions they were living in whilst on St. Helena. So yeah, they were here till 1902, after which they went back to a now British-controlled South Africa.